Have you ever wondered how the Israel Gaza conflict began and why it continues to persist? Let's journey back to the middle of the last century, to the year 1948. The stage was set in the Middle East with the establishment of the State of Israel. This event sparked a series of conflicts and disputes that continue to shape the region today. But why? The answer lies in the displacement of hundreds of thousands of Palestinians who were uprooted from their homes to make way for the newly formed state. This displacement sowed the seeds of resentment, giving rise to the first Arab-Israeli war that very year. Fast forward to 1967, where tension escalated into what's known as the Six-Day War. Israel, in a swift and decisive military campaign, took control of the Gaza Strip and the West Bank, among other territories. The result was another wave of displacement for Palestinians and a deepening divide between the two parties. As we move into the 90s, we see a glimmer of hope in the form of the Oslo Accords. These agreements, signed between Israel and the Palestine Liberation Organization, were designed to bring about a peaceful two-state solution. However, these accords fell short of their ambitions, and the hope for peace began to wane. Enter Hamas, a Palestinian militant group which emerged as a formidable force in the early 2000s. Hamas's rise to power in the Gaza Strip marked a significant turning point in the conflict, leading to an increase in hostilities and violence. So, here we are, in the midst of an enduring conflict that traces its roots back to the mid-20th century. An intricate web of historical events, geopolitical maneuvers, and ideological clashes, all contributing to a situation of immense complexity. Understanding these historical events is crucial to grasping the complexity of the ongoing conflict. Now that we have laid the historical groundwork, let us delve into the current situation. The conflict we are discussing today was sparked by a sudden attack by Hamas. In response to this aggression, several startup founders and employees in Israel have shifted their focus to support the military and those impacted by the ongoing war. Some have even joined the Israeli Defense Forces, while others have dedicated their time to fundraising and seeking donations. The tech industry, being a significant part of the Israeli economy, is heavily involved, with many reservists being called up for active duty. In the face of these challenges, the Israeli tech industry has shown resilience. Despite the conflict, many startups have continued their operations, with employees juggling between their military duties and work responsibilities. The startup community is using their skills and expertise to support the war effort, with projects involving complex data processing and cyber defense. The international response to the conflict has been varied. The United States, for instance, has dispatched jets to the Middle East in an attempt to prevent further escalation. Meanwhile, it is believed that Russia may be using the conflict for propaganda purposes. The impact on civilians on both sides of the conflict has been substantial. Hundreds of lives have been lost, and the psychological toll on those living in the conflict zones is immeasurable. The global economy has also felt the effects, with Israel's currency falling and defense sector stocks rising. In the midst of this, the role of social media has been significant, but not always positive. Platforms have been flooded with misinformation and disinformation during the war, including false claims and fabricated footage. This has been driven by both profit-seeking and politically motivated actors, further complicating the situation. Despite efforts by platforms to address the issue, unflagged posts continue to gain millions of views, spreading misinformation further and faster. This has led to the European Union launching an investigation into the role of social media platforms in spreading illegal content and disinformation. The human cost of this conflict is devastating, and the wide-ranging effects are felt globally. As we move forward, it is crucial to remember the importance of accurate information and compassion towards those directly affected by the conflict. The conflict has not only caused loss of life and displacement, but also has significant economic implications. The rippling effects of the ongoing conflict between Israel and Hamas can be seen far beyond the borders of the war-torn region. The economic impacts are far-reaching and substantial, with Israel's currency experiencing a significant fall. On the flip side, defense sector stocks have seen a rise, echoing the universal law of economy where one's loss often translates into another's gain. But the impact doesn't stop at the currency exchange or the stock market. The tech industry, a sector that has been instrumental in shaping our modern world, is also feeling the waves of this conflict. Many tech workers in Israel who are also reservists have been called up for active military duty, resulting in a sudden vacuum in the industry. This has led to a disruption in the operations of many tech businesses, further adding to the economic strain. Yet amid the chaos, there's a fascinating display of resilience. Many Israeli startup founders and tech employees have put business operations on hold to support the military and those affected by the war. Some have swapped their coding screens for the front lines, voluntarily serving in the Israeli Defense Forces. Others have dedicated their time and resources to fundraising efforts and seeking donations, proving that humanity can shine even in the darkest of times. This collective effort extends to those who have remained in the tech field as well. Startups are using their skills and expertise to support the war effort with projects involving complex data processing and cyber defense. Even while multitasking between military duties and work responsibilities, the tech community continues to contribute to their country's cause. In the face of adversity, the tech industry has shown an impressive display of adaptability. Leadership roles have been temporarily handed over, and teams are working tirelessly to ensure business continuity. Despite the ongoing conflict, these startups are determined to continue their missions and support their country. The conflict has seeped into every sector, affecting not just the economy, but the tech industry as well. The world is not just a silent observer. International responses have varied greatly. In the midst of the Israel-Hamas conflict, nations across the globe have been prompted into action, each in their unique way. The United States, for instance, has dispatched jets to the Middle East. This move is not merely an act of military might, but a strategic attempt to prevent further escalation of the conflict. It's a clear signal of the US's commitment to maintaining peace and stability in the region. But the story doesn't end there. Russia, on the other hand, may be attempting to turn the situation to its advantage. There are indications that it might be using the ongoing conflict for propaganda purposes. The intention could be to bolster its own global image or to further its geopolitical objectives. It's a reminder that in the complex web of international relations, every action can have a multitude of interpretations and consequences. The European Union too has not stood idle. It has been actively investigating the spread of illegal content and disinformation related to the conflict. The digital age has made it easier for misinformation to proliferate at an alarming pace, potentially inflaming the situation further. The EU's initiative is an attempt to curb this digital wildfire, ensuring that the public discourse is based on facts rather than falsehoods. These varied responses underscore the far-reaching implications of the Israel-Hamas conflict. It's not just a regional issue, but a global concern that demands the attention and action of the international community. It's a stark reminder of our interconnected world, where a spark in one corner can set off a firestorm in another. The global response to the conflict underscores the international community's concern about the situation. To sum up, the Israel-Gaza conflict is a complex issue with deep historical roots and wide-ranging impacts. We've traced this conflict back to its genesis, highlighting the historical tension between the two nations. We've explored the current situation, a tumultuous climate marked by escalating violence and disruption. We've also delved into the economic repercussions, with Israel's currency falling and tech industry workers called to serve in defense. The conflict has sent ripples through the global economy, with Wall Street expressing war fears and oil markets experiencing price jumps. The tech industry hasn't escaped unscathed, with Israeli startup founders and workers stepping away from their businesses to to support military efforts. And we've looked at the global response. From the US sending jets to the Middle East to prevent escalation, to social media platforms battling the spread of misinformation and disinformation, the world is grappling with the complexities of this conflict. As we continue to watch the developments, it's crucial to remember the importance of fact-checking and empathy in understanding this complex issue.